Horizontal.
Oh my god. Let's do that. Wait.
That's too close. Oh no, that's great. Okay.
Wait, can you cut that part out or no?
I can try. I don't know how to, but.
Okay. My name is Aubrey.
I'm Paige. Biagi.
And I'm gonna go first. So what I'm gonna be talking about is body composition and lean mass when it comes to weight loss and what training is best and why. So when encountering a weight loss predicament, you're gonna wanna maintain that muscle mass, and so resistance training is gonna keep that muscle mass, but at the same time, you want to do some hypertrophy, only because it does raise that endurance and hypertrophy. Endurance is gonna raise the VO2 max, which is then gonna get you oxygen.
What's VO2 max?
Okay, so the VO2 max is gonna be how much oxygen is getting to the body per milliliter of kilogram of weight. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna get that blood and oxygen to your muscles faster. And with more processes going down, it's gonna lessen adaptive thermogenesis, which is kind of like a slowing point when you start losing excessive amounts of weight. It's gonna kind of lower your basal metabolic rate and lower your resting metabolic rate, which is kind of like how much your body is working while you're resting. So like your cell formation, cell activations,
What's the
muscles.
difference between the basal metabolic rate and the resting metabolic rate?
So the basal is gonna be like kind of like the lowest it can go before your body kind of gives up and kind of just lowers even more.
So it's like the minimum.
Yeah, like the minimum. And then the resting is gonna be all the processes that go down, taking those calories and that energy, and it's gonna kind of like, it'll be like, yeah, just everything that's going on while you're resting and how much expenditure is actually going on. So you're gonna wanna kind of create a balance between how much you're eating and then how much you're actually working off. You don't wanna excessively do endurance, like cardio training, like running, walking. You don't wanna excessively be in a caloric deficit, because that could lead to just losing muscle mass. So you want to do that resistance training to maintain it and also to decrease the weight. Yeah, so like an example could be giving maybe like a 20-year-old like a mile run maybe, and with intervals of rest. So like 1 to 5 to like 1 rest. So like a minute 30 to like a minute. You'll want to be running and then walking, but you're not going to want to go that whole time, or else you're just pushing your body back.
Okay. So she's going to pretend to be Sarah, a 5'5", like 180-pound mom of 2 kids with a full-time job as a teacher. And then we're just going to go over like some exercise, like general recommendations, and then same with nutrition. So she kind of likes to snack late at night, and then you don't like high intensity, right?
Right.
But you do like low intensity.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you also do some like crash diets or like fad diets, like trendy.
I just try stuff because I see it online.
Okay, so with basal metabolic rate is like the minimum amount of calories you need to burn or like energy expenditure you need for your body to function properly. And then that ties into adaptive thermogenesis, which is kind of like how your body reacts to the environment. So if you are doing those like trendy diets where you lose weight really quickly, your body will kind of go into like survival mode, and adaptive thermogenesis, because it's adapting to like the caloric deficit, will reduce your metabolic rate, which is like also reducing your BMR. So
why do some people, how come they still have a lower weight even after the diet?
So there's ways to combat adaptive thermogenesis, because what it does is it wants to conserve energy, whereas if you kind of do the caloric deficit while also exercising, like resistance training is one of the best ways to lessen that, then that'll help you keep that weight off, and also keep losing weight. Whereas if it's just a caloric deficit, your body will want to conserve that energy, which will make it really hard to lose weight, because it's trying to survive essentially.
Right.
So honestly, especially with like late night snacking, that will also lower it, because when you're sleeping, you don't need to expend as much energy. So instead of taking the nutrients from the snacks and putting it into your body while you're like working during the day and like walking around and taking care of your kids.
Is there anything like I could switch out my snacks with that would help me a little bit more?
Yeah, so eating a little bit more regularly through the day will also help, because instead of taking those calories and just putting them in storage because you're sleeping and don't need them, you'll actually be using them. And then when we were talking about the adaptive thermogenesis, a high protein diet will also help lessen that, and that'll also help rebuild some of your muscle, which I believe you're wanting to lose weight but also want to be like
just a little stiffer.
a little stronger too. So then for like exercise, because we don't just want to focus on nutrition, we also want to get some good exercise in. HIIT training is high intensity exercise, which I know you didn't like. That's a great way to lessen that adaptive thermogenesis, but it's not necessarily high intensity what you normally think, like what you see on social media. It's relative to you. So if you're walking 3 days a week regularly, you can add in a little jog in there, or maybe walk for a minute and then jog for 30 seconds or so, and then go back to walking, and that itself is increasing that intensity. For like the social aspect though, and because you do like that social structure as well, you can do like a Pilates class, which is also low impact, so your joints won't hate you as much, and that both of those will work on your endurance, so your oxidative system, which is just your like aerobic capacity and how much you do that, and then you're also like your glycolytic system, so so your oxidative system and then your glycolytic system, training those will help you be less fatigued, and will also like you can spend more time with your kids and stuff like that. Okay. Perfect.